Welcome to the crew room. Today we are heading into the world of mountain rescue with Janice, team leader at CONISTON Mountain Rescue. In this episode, we go beyond call-outs, diving deep into what it really takes to lead a rescue team, the challenges they face, the pressures of protocols, and if risk outweighs reward. It's a fascinating, raw and honest conversation that gives us a real glimpse into the work and the people behind the rescues. Grab a brew and join us in the crew room. I officially joined the team in 2008.
Yes. How did you know that?
I've done my research.
Of course you have. You're a student.
I've been looking through all the records and trying to pick people that I knew from the team. Anyway, so what first drew you to join the mountain rescue officially back then?
I think, well, many years ago, I watched a programme, and I don't know if other people will have done. I doubt it. And it was called Rock Face, and it was about a Scottish mountain rescue team.
Okay.
And even in those days, I was just so mesmerised by it. You know, it really got into me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I would love to do that. But I knew that I'd never have the skills to do anything like that. I'm not a rock climber. I just walk. And that must have stayed in the back of my mind because I was in the post office as it was in those days.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a donation box.
Oh, yeah.
And I suddenly thought, hey, I could make tea for people coming off the fell, whether it's for the team or whether it's for the parties that come down. I've got no skills. I can't go up on the fell because I know nothing, do nothing. All I do is walk my dog.
And make a good tea.
Well, yeah, maybe. But if I offer my services, so I applied saying I can do that. They also said, you know, can you do admin? I said, yes, because that's what I've always done. So they took me on. And they said, well, we'll ring you when we get a call out, and then you can come and perhaps see how the base is run. So that first day, team leader rang me, do you want to come and just have a look at the base? Oh, yes. I just got off the fell with my dog and I'd got my boots on. So I arrived in the base, saw my boots and said, do you want to go up on the fell? And I thought, do I? And
wow.
I never became the official tea lady. But I still do make tea for people.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually. So from that first step with your boots on, what was the initial training like back then?
Training was, I wouldn't say it was intense, but there's a lot of it. We train regularly, as all mountain rescue teams do. There was rope training, search techniques, off-road driving, running the base. Mm-hmm. But the sort of the discipline that I was interested in most was the casualty care, the first aid. It's sort of a bit more than your bog standard first aid, as you can imagine. And I was so interested in that I used to follow the main cas carer in those days, like a puppy dog. And the thing that I learned a few years later was that the medical officer at the time, because I was very keen, mm-hmm. and I would ask a lot of questions because I knew nothing.
Yeah.
Still know nothing, but you know, he'd said at the time, oh, she won't last 5 minutes.
Look at you now.
And look at me now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So a lot of training.
A lot of training. And do you think it differs, the training back when you started, do you think it's changed throughout the years, and is it different now to when it was?
It is. Then? It is. It was, dare I say, in those days, it was more relaxed. Mm-hmm. The standards, although they were high, they weren't ruled by protocols regulations, policies, procedures, operating procedures. Nowadays, we are so influenced by, which I'm sure all employers are, by everything that comes down from the government. So training now, you have to constantly train to a certain standard. You have to be, if you can gain a qualification, which they offer, all the better. You have to be in ticket to continue to be a casualty carer.
Yeah, 'cause they time out, don't they?
Yeah.
For so long.
And the standard, especially with casualty care, with everything really, is going higher and higher. And I think because there are more medical professionals in mountain rescue now than there ever used to be, so expectations become higher.
Yeah.
And that's very difficult if you're not doing it every day,
Yeah.
which we're not. But also there is a huge emphasis on safety. So everything has to be at a level, so that you can look after yourself, the equipment, and consequently the casualty.
Yeah.
So it is a lot harder nowadays than it was. We train a lot more now. We train every other week, and sometimes at least one Sunday every month. It's very high on the agenda.
Expect a lot of you, don't they?
It's a commitment, a lot of training.
Yeah.
And the thing is about some of the items, because you're not doing it every day, we're one of the quieter teams compared to your Langdale and Ambleside, your Wasdale, your Keswick, who have much larger areas and perhaps a bigger footfall of tourists. Yeah. We're very small. So perhaps we don't get in the same amount of practice that they do.
Okay.
So we have to continue training so that it's always there. Yeah. So that we can maintain that level of efficiency.
You do use those skills, you've got them.
Yeah.
Got them sorted. Wow. Do you remember your first call out you went to?
I do. It's the one that I didn't make tea for.
Yeah.
It's a bit embarrassing, really.
Oh dear.
Yes, so that was my first call out, and it was to somebody who had hurt I think it was their hip, near Goat's Water.
Oh wow. Okay.
And at the far end of Goat's Water, at the northern end, it would have to be.
It's a bit of a track.
I know. And but I was young and fit in those days.
Ready to go.
And I remember a few things. Walking up towards Goat's Water with another lady, and she was asking questions. And she said, "Oh, do you go abroad, and where do you go?" And I said, "No, all my walks are in this country. I do long distance walks. That's my type of holiday." And she says, "Why?" I said, "Well, because I can do it with my dog, and I like the type of holiday." "So you never go abroad?" I said, "No, I've got my dog here, and I don't want to put her through." "Oh, I would not do that." And she was telling me everything that she'd done abroad. And at that moment, I thought, I'm not going to fit in here. There's no way am I going to fit in to this team. They're up there and I'm down there. Anyway, we continued along. We got to the casualty and I observed. That was my job. Mm-hmm. And then the helicopter came and it was the RAF.
Wow.
I have a phobia of jets and at the time helicopters.
This was a great first call for you.
And I was convinced it was going to fall on me.
Yeah.
Because the noise and the downdraft.
Yeah.
Next thing I knew, and people will shudder now, but this thing comes down and the the person, the paramedic or the guy from the helicopter, gave it to me, and then he took the casualty up, and I'm thinking,
what am I doing with this?
What am I doing with this? And as he went up, he then went like that. I thought, what? And he went. So I thought, oh, let go. So I let go, and he went like that. So I did the right. So I used the brain. I don't know what happened there. I used the brain, and that went up. And then somebody gave me the rucksack of the casualty.
Mm-hmm.
The casualty happened to be who is currently now a team member.
Oh, wow.
He joined X number of months after me because, you know, he
that
was
experience.
fit and
wow.
So he was my first casualty. But I remember being in the Land Rover, and somebody said, all right, we'll go to the pub afterwards. The drinks are on, Janice. And I said, excuse me, I don't have any money with me. He said, no, but you've got the guy's wallet. So then I thought, well, maybe I will fit in. Because it was so nice in that vehicle.
Yeah.
And obviously, whether I fit in or not, I'm still here.
Yeah, you are still here. Wow, that's quite nice. And there's a good camaraderie after a call out. It's quite a high if everything's gone well.
Yeah, it's very rare it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's very rare. You know, there is good camaraderie, and people either stay here and get together and have a drink to settle them or have a chat.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a fatality, then that is quite normal as well.
Yeah.
Provided that the family have now gone.
Yeah.
Or they can go to the pub.
Yeah.
But me, I'm quite unsociable, and I go home.
Yeah.
For a cup of tea.
Lovely.
And some chocolate.
Yeah.
I but they know me now.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the whole point of a team, especially a team that's on the smaller side, that you all know each other's quirks and how you guys want to deal with things.
Absolutely.
I think that's really important, because I think when I'm working and when it's been like a particularly hard shift, I am all sort of fine and chipper while we're talking about it and while we're reminiscing on what went well, what went bad, and whether it's a fatality or not. And then when I get home and I have a little quiet moment, sometimes I'm fine, but if anybody asks me if I'm okay, that's when I'm not okay then. And I think it's really important to know how everybody deals with it, and if people do want a bit of a social side, and especially you guys, you get called from your lives, you go up and you do something amazing, and then you come back down, and then you go back to your own lives, and there's no boundary between what is reality and what isn't really. And I guess that's kind of hard.
It's weird, or it used to be, because I'm retired now, but it used to be quite strange getting the call out when I was at work, and leaving work to do the call out, and then going back to work when it had been a difficult call out, you know, and I'm just having to carry on.
Act completely normal.
Good morning or good afternoon. How's gone? Well, how can I help you? It's weird. So you're absolutely right. But everybody is different on the team. And as you've said, we all have our quirks. We have our strengths. We have our weaknesses. Everybody's aware of them. And I think, to be honest, we do gel very well together as a team.
Yeah, it's really nice. On that sort of topic, your casualty care, what does the training look like for that? What sort of things do you learn?
What sort of things do I learn? Basically, what it is, if you study to pass the exam, really.
Yeah.
And you take an exam, and if you pass, it lasts for 3 years, and that exam comprises of 2 parts, really. One is a written, and that covers everything within the scope of what you may find when you go out on a call out, going from injuries to medical conditions to psychological issues.
Oh, really?
You know, if we go out to vulnerable people.
That's really interesting.
You know, and every conceivable issue that you might be faced with. And then you have 2 practical exams. That covers a trauma scenario and a medical scenario. And you have to make sure that you deal with that casualty in a timely and appropriate manner, starting from your routine that you will, you know, your doctor A, B, C, D, and E.
Yeah.
But you've got to stick to that.
Yeah.
You've not got to kill anybody.
That's always me.
You know, it's always useful. But it's difficult because in reality, you are, as a CAS carer, well, even if I was on my own and there were no other qualified CAS carers, there's enough members in the team that have got a brain that can assist me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so you're never on your own. Yeah. But in that CAS care exam, occasionally you may have a helper, but that's only so that they can pass you something
that you ask for.
Yeah, that they can't say, oh, have you done that? Have you done this? So for somebody who doesn't do it every day in their life as a job, it's very stressful, and it is my exam at the end of this year, and I started stressing about it in January.
It is a read the textbooks, do the exams, and learn on the job sort of situation.
You do learn on the job. I mean, yesterday we went on a call out to a lady that couldn't continue walking. She had spasms in her back, and I'm thinking, what? Well, that could be
anything,
spasms. Yeah. You know, so you do learn on the job, but at the end of the day, our job is not necessarily to diagnose, but it's to treat what we see, what we find, what our diagnosis information is, and hopefully stabilise them, make them improve their condition the best way we can, and then get them to a medical professional as safely and quickly as possible, really.
Awesome. So prior training, I know you've mentioned that you had no skills and then just joined the mountain rescue. Is there any requirement now for prior training before you join?
No.
Or can you just make some teas and it happens?
I bet people wish that. No. I mean, been asked this a few times, and when we get applications in from people that would like to be a probationer, like to join the team, it's always a bonus if you've got obviously some form of medical background, which is rare. It's a bonus if you're a climber and you're used to handling ropes and equipment. Those are probably the 2 main training areas that require regular input. But if you haven't, and I didn't, what we are looking for are people that can commit to the training, because you're given dates, they want to see you turning up, and are willing to come to call-outs. Call-outs are a little bit different because you can't plan them.
Yeah.
You know, so you could have a series of call-outs and you can only attend one in a month or 2, because circumstances, you may be out of the village.
Yeah.
You know, you may be laid up, but training, you've got the dates.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to commit and you've got a medium level of fitness, we're not asking you to be Superman or you know, a sprinter, but but a keenness for the fells, somebody that does like going up. That is what we're after.
A bit of passion.
Absolutely. And, you know, we are doing good. It's always really nice to have a probationer, and you can see them making notes or they're asking questions.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. So on that, because you can't time when you're going into the fells and you don't know when an incident's going to happen, be it a normal time or 2 a.m. in the morning, how do you keep those skills fresh, and how do you simulate what you're going to be doing? What's the sort of training?
Just by training.
Okay.
It's simple as that. In just over a week's time, we're having, it's on a Sunday morning, we're having a scenario training session where we've got a drone and we've got a couple of casualties spread apart, and it will also include a search.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there will be CAS care, search techniques, off-road driving, drone support, base management, and that is how you keep up your skills, simply by the training. And that is why you need to be committed to that training, whether you're a probationer or a full team member. If you're not committed, then your level of skill will go so low that you wonder why I'm not asking you to carry the stretcher or put the stretcher together. If you can imagine, we use the stretcher a lot. So I need to be, as team leader, I need to be confident that those two guys that are putting it together are doing it right.
Know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's also the confidence in yourself as well, isn't it? When you've not been doing something for so long, how can you trust yourself to do it properly first time?
Yeah, and it's not just yourself you're letting down.
The whole team.
It's the whole team and the casualty.
Yeah.
It does have a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
So, you know, commitment, enthusiasm.
And lots of training.
And training. But, you know, training can be fun.
Yeah, I love it. It's brilliant.
Training can be fun. It might be a bit repetitive in some areas, but to me, if you're interested, it's like my CAS care, because that is my main interest.
Yeah.
And I am never bored with doing CAS care, whether it's the same. But we've got 12 months and we cover the whole of the syllabus in 12 months.
Wow.
So it's never boring if you enjoy doing something.
Yeah. I think that's why people do it as well, isn't it? Because they are passionate about what they do. They wouldn't turn up if they weren't. So I think going through the syllabus is it's quite an interesting one for them, isn't it? Because they get to revisit things that they love to do, which is cool.
Yeah.
What part, we spoke about the fitness and being able to sprint and things like that, climbing. What is the fitness and the training, and how does fitness come into the job that you do? Because obviously you are going up into the hills and you are stretchering people down.
Well, do you know, when a call out comes through, you know, it goes off on your phone. This is terrible. I don't look what it is.
Yeah.
It could be somebody who's completely been decapitated. I don't look at that.
Yeah.
I look, where is it?
How far is it going to be?
Exactly. How hard am I going to have to work?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and so you've got to be prepared to give it everything. I mean, you know, I'm not as fit as I was. I know that. I still think I'm fitter than some of the team members that perhaps don't go on the foul as often as I do. I only go up twice a week, but then I do the lower fouls with my dog. But, you know, at my age, I'm not as fit. But I can still go up the foul, and I can still go up reasonably fast enough to make it worth my while, the team's while, and the casualty. You've got to be prepared to push yourself to do that. There are some people that are strong and fast, and these are the people that you would delegate to carry the heavy rucksacks.
Yeah.
But that slows you up, you see.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to expect. So when I say fit, if you've got a bad back, it's not going, a permanently bad back, it's not going to be for you.
Yeah.
Going up the fell, rushing, picking up rucksacks.
Yeah.
You need to know and own your own capability.
Yeah.
Obviously, coming down, you're now carrying a stretcher with 6 to 7 other people. So you have to be mindful that you've now got a weight, and that can be anything from somebody my size, in which case they'd run down, or somebody who's quite weighty, and you have to take really good care. So some of the terrain that we carry in stretchers over can be difficult. So all this is to do with your level of fitness, your mindfulness of safety, and being confident in what you're doing. Because if you're not confident on your feet, perhaps you need to step back and let somebody else do that section.
Yeah.
So it's not just about being a runner.
Yeah.
It's about being able to make use of the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because adrenaline can get you from A to B much quicker than if you didn't have it. Believe me, my adrenaline goes up when there's a dog rescue.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. So adrenaline is good and it will help, but you've still got to be aware of your own safety. If you go running up, are you really going to be concentrating on where you're putting your feet, or are you going to trip? Yeah. And again, with coming down, it's not a race. We want everybody, including the casualty, to get down safely. But we want you to be strong enough and fit enough to carry that stretcher, sometimes for 2-3 miles, 4 miles even.
Yeah.
If we can't get a helicopter, if it's a big long carry, so it can be tiring.
Yeah, and it all comes into that working as a team, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And especially with the adrenaline, like I never run to a patient because by the time I get there, if it's 12 flights of stairs, I'll be out of breath by the time I visit the patient anyway. So
yeah.
I don't know what I'll be doing then.
You're right. The first time, no, not the first time. Sorry, I won't go there. But I went up, the scree below Dow Crag. Yeah. I went up there once with the trauma sack. Mm-hmm. I think I may have been the first or the second years ago. And the casualty said to me, "Gosh, you were so quick. Wow, gosh, you sped up there." And I was, "Don't talk to me. I can't breathe. Where's the oxygen?" Yeah. So I was of no use nor ornament.
Yeah.
But for that first minute till I got my breath.
Yeah.
I had to hide it. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah. I think lots of people wouldn't think about that. People that are delivering medical aid on a street. You're walking on a flat surface, you get there, you've jollied over. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah.
You've now just climbed old man, and now you're having to deal with a patient, and then think about extrication down a mountain.
Yeah.
There's so much more that comes into it than just having a wander over. You've just done miles.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So
I think people don't really understand that. I think maybe you pop out of the mist and they don't know where you've come from. You've just been dropped by a helicopter and
of course. that just I've only been in a helicopter once where that's happened, yeah. And I still had to walk halfway up the blooming hill.
Yeah. On that, what is the best piece of kit that you guys use? The thing that you couldn't live without? Every time you go to a patient, you've got it and you use it.
A stretcher.
Stretcher, easy.
Yeah.
Is it good to use?
Because what's your alternative?
Yeah.
What's your alternative? Somebody with a broken leg, somebody with a fractured femur or a broken pelvis, what are you going to do? Walk them down? Carry the money back? It's got to
be the stretcher.
Yeah, I've never been asked that question, so I'm sure there's probably a better answer.
No, I reckon if it's your most used piece of equipment,
it always goes with us.
Yeah.
Unless it's a search and we're not, it's just for somebody that hasn't has got lost. We don't need the stretcher.
Okay.
And equally, if it's somebody that's missing, we wouldn't take the stretcher unless we had an idea that they've fallen, they could have fallen. But we would always ring down for it because there's always stretchers on the vehicles. In that case, we would probably choose somebody who's safe to move a bit faster downhill, can bring it back up again. But with a stretcher, it would be lost. If you think of other equipment like a casualty bag, which is like a glorified sleeping bag, we always use that. Whenever we put anybody in a stretcher, they actually go into this bag, which is in the stretcher, and they're nicely wrapped up. But without that, we could still put them in the stretcher and get them down.
Yeah.
So I think it's got to be a stretcher.
Cool. On all of the equipment, you've got a lot of equipment, and depending on what you go to, you're going to be taking different things. But just roughly, how heavy is that kit that you're taking up? Because a stretcher on an ambulance is a hefty piece of kit, and I'm guessing it's a different piece of equipment taking a stretcher up the hills.
It is. So I don't know weight-wise, but some of the sacks can weigh between 12, 20 kilos, which isn't that heavy. But when you're going uphill in rubbish weather, trying to go at speed or up to a point, it's hard work. And sometimes it's not just like the stretcher, it's not the weight, it's the awkwardness of it, because you've got the stretcher there, and then you've got parts of the equipment that go with the stretcher. We've got a trauma sack that comes with us most of the time, unless it's a medical condition we're going to. We've got the vacuum mattress. Do you know what a vacuum mat is? Well, that's really big and bulky. It's a big, as you said, big piece. So it's the bulk.
Yeah, the awkwardness of having to carry everything up.
It is, yeah. And then we've got crag sacks, with ropes in and things.
That's heavy.
They are heavy.
Yeah, it adds up, doesn't it? All the kit that you're taking up, and then putting them in. Have you got bags that are comfy? Or are they like...
They're just functional.
Yeah.
They're not like our rucksacks that we go out for a day or a few days. They're not perfect. Oh, this feels like home.
It fits.
They're not comfy, no.
Oh, wow. And especially over the terrain that you're going over. If it's slippy and you've got a heavy bag that's wiggling everywhere, it's just...
The only time I like carrying a heavy bag is when it's windy, because wind is my worst enemy. Right. I have been picked up in the wind and dislocated my shoulder.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
They should have put you a heavy bag on.
Well, no, I was on my own. It wasn't on a call out. It was just on a walk with my dog. And I didn't realise that a gust was coming. It picked me up at Saddleston Quarries.
Wow. Okay.
Threw me down, and you think, right, I think I'm all right, until I got up. Oh, the pain.
Yeah.
And I could feel this isn't right.
Yeah.
But I also knew that if I don't put it back, then it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And it'll be harder to put back. So I put my shoulder back.
Oh.
And I knew it was in, because I heard, I just sort of...
Yeah.
And the difference, although it throbbed, but the difference in the pain level.
Yeah.
But ever since then, I hate the wind with a passion. Occasionally, a team member may have grabbed me if you see me go. However, if I have a big pack on me, that's ballast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've never been taken by the wind when I've had a big sack on me.
Yeah. To be fair, it is scary, the wind. If you're up on a ridge or you're up somewhere really exposed, you can feel it and you're getting pushed side to side.
Well, I would say that the worst, or the most no, maybe not the most dangerous, but the worst call out we had was to, I think it was 2 or 3 walkers from a local pub with a dog. How dare they take a dog in that?
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, in that weather, and they were lost. And the winds were that high that they were blowing the slate off the ground. So in the end, out of the 4 or 5 teams that set off, because we'd split up, because we didn't know exactly where they were. There was no what we call SAR call in those days. We were all split up, and in the end, only 2 teams made it to the ridge. The other teams just had to turn back because it was too dangerous. And I was one of the teams that made it to the ridge, but I was on my hands and knees. Equipment was lost.
Oh my goodness.
Fortunately, the other team found them just off the ridge. And by the time I got back to the Land Rovers at Leverswater, I was black and blue. Oh. And all I wanted when we got back to the pub, when they said, right, what are you drinking, Janice? Because they brought chips and things, what are you drinking? I could do with a cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
So I hate the wind with a passion. I do.
Yeah, it does get you, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
On that, trying to search for people, how much does the local knowledge play a part in your team? And
it plays a huge part because you can relax. Nowadays, unlike when I first started, we have a system called Starlock or Phone Find, and basically, whoever's called 999, if we send a link to their number, and we'd let them know, then they click on that link and it shows up on our map in the base. So we know where they are. And because we know where they are, that there'll always be a few of us that knows that area anyway. Yeah. So knows if they're not on a path, we'll know the easier route.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, we took a route to get to another casualty. And I said, well, why don't we go this way? And a couple of team members had never been that way. I said, well, it's easier and it gets us on the ridge. So yeah, it's a really big plus if you know the area. And most of our team members know the area, especially the older members.
Yeah, grew up here and have grown up on the fells.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's especially good, isn't it? If you know the area that a casualty is and you know the terrain there as well, even on your way you can start to think about the injuries and what they've dealt with and the environment
which you do.
Yeah.
Yesterday when we had the call out, I saw it on the little note that the name of a place, and I thought, I know that, because it wasn't on the Old Man, it was near Blythe. And I thought, I know that. So I went to look at the map to see the best way there, and I know the normal way there that I would go if I was walking, and I'd walk around that area. But I was looking for another way, and I saw this track, and thinking that goes more or less within a few hundred yards. I wonder. And one of our team members said, well, you can actually take a Land Rover most of that way. So thanks to that, it saved us a longer walk in.
Yeah, a lot of time, which is beneficial for you guys, having to
and I knew exactly where she was, and you know, I thought, I've been here. It's not somewhere where you go that often, but it's on the Cumbria Way, and but I knew the area, so
that's really good, isn't it? When it all clicks together and works out well. Most important question: talk to me about the dogs. Do you have any dogs that work within the team?
No.
Oh.
No, we used to, but he was retired last year due to ill health. But we rarely used the dogs because we don't, dare I say it, we never had huge searches like some of the other teams.
Okay.
And the dog that we had was busy, or the team member, she's used 2 or 3 dogs since I was a member, and she was busier helping other teams than she was Coniston, because we just never had that type of call out. We maybe once or twice, but generally she helped other teams. So no, we don't have any dogs.
Okay.
But it is easier now that we've got the Sarlacc and the Frontline, because we don't have to have those searches. We've got our radios and our phones, and they are tracked on what we call MR map, Mountain Rescue Map. They are tracked. So even on a search, the base people can tell where we are.
Yeah.
And if we're very near a casualty, because some of us have got the map on our phone, so we can look to see, we need to just go a little bit to our left, about 20 yards, or the base can tell us.
Oh, wow, okay.
So,
do you think there's still, obviously with the introduction of that technology, do you think there's still a space for search dogs?
Yes, because that's great when technology is working and you've been able to get that communication. But if you haven't got that communication,
you're lost.
You're lost, and they could be anywhere. You haven't got a point on a map that you're working towards. You've got an area which is having a dog, and those dogs can cover the ground so much faster and so much better than what we can. You know, in thick mist, you can walk past a casualty that's just over there, unless they hear you and they shout. We do tend to shout for casualties if they're lost in mist, just to make sure we are heading in the right direction. So to me, there will always be a place for dogs. And somebody may say, well, what about drones? And drones are absolutely brilliant. They are, finding the heat source and everything, but they are limited by the weather.
Yeah. And it
so
is windy here.
it is windy and it's wet.
Yeah.
And it's misty.
Yeah.
So ideally for a drone, you want decent weather.
Yeah.
Whereas a dog, they don't mind the rain. And,
yeah, oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So back onto you. How did you, from the beginning to now, obviously you've started off as a team member and now you are the team leader.
I know.
Scary.
It is.
How do you balance your life and what you want to do and also leading the team as well? That's good timing, isn't it?
It's all right. It's not a call out. Balance, I think, is the wrong word, because when I was working, I was for the last couple of years or so, 3 years, I was an assistant leader, but you never did very much because the leader did most of it. And you know, I had my work, and I loved, my hobby was walking, so I'd go out for walks, and if I was around, that's fine. And I was around quite a bit. When I retired, I planned to do to get my dog qualified to be a PAT dog, Pets Therapy.
Yeah.
And also I qualified to be a pet first aid trainer.
Oh, wow.
So I'm qualified to teach people first aid on their pets. So I did those. And then I became team leader. I don't do either of those anymore. The PAT dog, I did it a couple of times, but after COVID, the local people didn't seem that interested, and I didn't want to go further afield to Preston, Blackpool. I didn't really want to. I travelled as far as Barrow, so that died a death. And the pet first aid, never really got going. I've done a little bit, but I never really got going. And my life now, sadly, is, I would say, 75% mountain rescue, and 25% me. Because the team leader is not just about leading the team on a rescue. I'm responsible, or end up doing so much more.
Yeah.
A day doesn't go by without me on that phone, whether it's a WhatsApp, a text, an email. There's always meetings, LD SAMRA meetings, team leaders meetings, team welfare meetings. I'm the welfare officer as well. Casualty care meetings. There's always team issues that I have to be involved in. But the other 25% is linked to A, because I have to keep fit. So that 25% that's left is me going for walks every morning with my dog. It's usually in the morning, because the witching hour for call outs is between like 12 and 4 or 5. So, I go out for my walks in the morning. But I do feel now that I'm missing out on going further afield in the Lake District, simply because during the week especially, the other deputies work and I don't. So I stay around.
Yeah.
Occasionally I will go out, and I still have my holidays when I go away. But my life is very much mountain rescue.
Yeah.
And I do a bit of the ECFR, the CFR bit as well.
Which again still is giving your time up for
it
something,
is,
isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got, as you'll know, I've got a dozen modules that I need to complete in the next month or two. So that's going to take time.
Yeah, it seems like everything's demanding your time, and you're having to split yourself between so many things.
It is, but at the end of the day, I suppose it's got to be worth it, or else I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you have got to like it deep down.
Team leader wise,
yeah,
I will pass on that.
Okay.
I love doing the CAS care, but as team leader now, unless I'm the only CAS carer there, I have to step back and let the other CAS carers do it.
Yeah.
I mean, my job really as team leader is to make decisions and observe, make sure everything is running smoothly, and if anything's needed, and it's my responsibility to get it or to communicate. So I can't do what I really love doing.
Yeah.
I still do it, like yesterday.
Yeah.
I did the CAS care. But being a team leader, it weighs heavy on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And perhaps the heaviest issue is team safety. And I'm sure safety is in your job, your personal safety. And I am so mindful that I want every member of my team to arrive at the casualty safely, stretcher them down safely, which obviously will therefore make the casualty safe.
Yeah.
But I'm constantly thinking of the safety of the team, and that does weigh heavy.
Yeah.
I never even thought it would. But as team leader, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time when the position came up and landed the job. So
swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
yeah.
How do you think throughout all of that time and then obviously having the leadership position, how has your leadership style changed and evolved the more that you've learned and the more time that you've done it?
Perhaps I've become a little bit more confident. my leadership style is different from previous leaders. I think I am more caring now, again, safety-wise.
Yeah.
But the role itself is the same, but I have so much more to think about.
Yeah.
With all the different legislation. For example, the most recent is safeguarding. I mean, safeguarding. We don't go to children or that many young people.
Yeah.
But you can still have adults, and you still have to be aware that there could be safeguarding issues. And I now have to be mindful, and we're working on that for the team with training and everything. So I have to think about that all the time.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about people just thinking it's going up, collecting people and bringing them down. There is so much more to it, and especially now with more protocols. I mean, things are getting created every day, and you're expected to change with every single piece of paper that comes out.
Yeah.
And there's so much more to it, and especially because this is a voluntary team, and people are giving up their time and their families and their dinners to come out and help people, and now are expected to give the highest amount of care and the best amount of care that they can, and keep it all within protocols and
it's
rules.
Keeping it in with
it's asking a lot. And I'm sure they would want to, all of your team members, I mean, it sounds like you're all very, very close and you work together well and you care about each other. And I'm sure that they want to deliver the best care that they can. But it sounds like you're
pushing the boundaries. Yes. That I think the government or whoever forget that we're all volunteers, and perhaps they're just losing sight of the ethos of mountain rescue.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it was created where we are, wasn't it? The first mountain rescue base in the UK is here.
You've done your research.
I have, and it was made of quarrymen and people that worked on the farms, and it's asking the same of you. You guys are people from the village, and you all have your own lives. But these people set it up to help each other enjoy the mountains and to help people stay safe. And now you're being asked to do advanced procedures and bringing people down and keeping everyone safe and looking after everyone's mental health. And there is a space for that.
And logging everything, don't forget. You've got to log everything.
Everything needs to go down. But I think there is a space for that, and there is a space for pushing you all to achieve exactly what you can achieve. But the amount of protocols that come with it, and the amount of logging every single thing that you've done, and the amount of, if you've done something wrong, you have to write it down because it might come back for you.
Yes.
And all of that must weigh so heavy on your head from something that you were passionate about and you want to do because you care about people and you love the mountains, to now, what happens if I did this wrong?
Yes.
There's a big thing to say about that, isn't there?
Yes, you're spot on. You've just got to think about everything that you do before you go out. Did you pre-brief your team that it was icy on the top of? Did you check that there was fuel in the tank? Did you check that bandage was in date?
Mm-hmm. People don't think about that, do they? That even the patients, what comes before that is almost more important than what you're doing. You're checking the expiry dates.
To be able to deliver the care correctly.
Yeah.
To
the standard.
To the standard. But as I said, if we didn't want to continue to do it, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But we do.
Yeah.
So.
And there is something to be said for that as well.
Bring it on. We'll do our best.
Yeah. On that and the amount of work that you guys have to do, has the mountains become work, or do you think you guys still love the mountains for what they were before you joined the team? Do you still enjoy it, or is it just your job?
Still love the mountains. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people look at the mountain rescue as, it's a job, oh, I can't be bothered to go out today. I was on a rescue yesterday. I think people, because they joined the team, they must have had that affinity with the mountains to begin with.
Yeah.
If you were a townie and you didn't like walking, you wouldn't have joined.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all our team members go up on the fells every day. They don't. I know that. There's only maybe a handful that can say, or that one can say are obsessed.
Yeah.
But they enjoy the fells, and I think they enjoy the rescues, and it doesn't detract from the fact that we live in such a beautiful area.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, it's quite inspiring, isn't it? Especially living in the village and opening your door and being able to see the mountains.
Opening my curtains in the morning.
Yeah.
On a good day, I can see the old man.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
It's not that often.
Yeah, it's in the mist at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, it's a privilege to be able to live here.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that the team come from the village as well, and a lot of people have grown up with the mountains.
They have
grown up doing all these rescues, and I think it's quite a family affair here. Everybody is quite close, and we all know everything about each other. And I think that's nice.
Yeah, yes. I mean, we do, and if somebody is got an issue, then they do have the little support network.
Yeah,
and everybody's aware. It is a big family, so it works.
Yeah,
it works.
When you're down here, it seems like you guys are communicating well, and you've got a good support network here. When you're in the mountains and it's horrible weather, it's blowing a hoolie, how do you guys communicate? Is there radio systems? Is there, I don't know, sign language? I know it gets loud up there, doesn't it? How do you guys communicate?
It's mainly by radio.
Okay.
But obviously you have to be aware of when you're transmitting on the radio, and you keep it to a minimum. But in really bad weather, you want to be able to transmit where it's sheltered, so that they down at base don't hear is just a load of wind.
Yeah.
They can always tell whether it's windy.
Yeah.
If the worst comes to worst, we can use our mobiles if there's a signal.
Yeah.
And it's not too bad. There are some black spots, but we also have a new system now called Zello, which, if our radio isn't working too well, we can go on to Zello, and we've got a Zello transmitter here as well, and that can work really well. But in bad weather, there's a lot of voice going on, shouting, and sometimes there will have to be hand signals, rather than shouting, because you just can't hear. It's not great when there's bad weather.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, because a lot of people in the industry aren't in the mountains, and there's a big emphasis put on communicating with your team and how the medical industry is all about teamwork. But when you take away the fact that you can talk to each other, sometimes see each other, it's a different way of thinking about how you're treating your patient, but also how you're communicating with your team to deliver the best care that you can.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's a really interesting take on it. It's much more than just medicine. It's communicating as well.
I mean, people think, do I have to do the base? But communication, whether it's between the base and to us people on the fell, or whether it's between us people on the fell, from me to somebody else, good communication is vital.
Yeah.
Obviously,
all of your team come from different backgrounds, different jobs, different lives. How does it work as a team? Obviously, you've got you like to specialise in CAS care, but that interprofessional collaboration, is there lots of confident people talking, or how do you communicate in that way? As in, you've got some confident people, you've got some people that are specialist in this in their normal lives. How does it work?
We've got, obviously, most of the team work, and there is a variety of professions that they do. None of them are. We've got two medical professionals on the team. One of them is our team doctor. He's not always available, not 100%. He has a life, and he's a professional, and his wife works at a hospital. But it's good that they're able to talk and we can discuss issues if necessary. But if you think of the other serious aspect, which is your rope work and associated equipment, none of our team members work in that environment, but there is a core group that are climbers.
Okay.
So they have their own little crack group and they can go off climbing in the area and they keep the level of expertise that's required up there.
Yeah.
Which they then can cascade down to the other team members.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And it's the same with the CAS Care group, I suppose, but there's none of those are actually do that as their ordinary jobs.
Yeah.
We've got teachers, we've got joiners, we've got sales reps, we've got engineers, we've got retired people. I think the only one perhaps is we had somebody who used to drive up the quarries, and unfortunately he's not able to at the moment, but he used to be probably one of our best drivers.
Yeah.
And he stopped going up on the fell, but we would always home into him to drive.
Yeah.
We've got 2 or 3 people that are used to doing driving Land Rovers, have got Land Rovers.
Yeah.
So we're always perhaps return to them to give some training on off-road driving. So they can use their work skills or their hobby skills or their day-to-day skills with the teaching of the team.
Yeah, that's brilliant how you're able to pull hobbies and passions from everybody in the team to further develop the skills that you all
well, not everybody.
Yeah.
Some people, yeah. But it is a confident team.
Yeah.
But we all have our little, what I call niches.
Yeah.
So mine is CAV Care. We've got some people that gravitate towards that. We've got some people that gravitate towards the rope and the intricacies of setting up a belay system or a rescue system from a crag.
That's good. How long do these rescues typically take?
I would say on average, maybe we're looking at 3 hours.
Wow, okay. That's interesting. Obviously, people that are in emergency services that are quick action, so an ambulance or the police or a fire truck, their main aim, treat the patient, pick the patient up,
get rid,
take them to a grown-up.
Go.
Yeah, and there's not much emphasis in training and in real life, I'd argue, on keeping the patient stable, safe, comfortable for that long. There is really, especially where I'm training at the moment, you're never more than half an hour away from a hospital. Whereas here, you get up, you get them off, you keep them stable, you keep them safe, you keep them warm out of the elements. And even when you're at the bottom of the hill, that's not the end of the journey for them.
No.
And I think there's a lot. Obviously, you've just said that your typical rescue is 3 hours, and that's including you getting up there, giving the care, making them stable, just to transfer them down the hill as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more that comes into it, keeping that patient stable for that long as well.
Yes.
And I think that's a really specialist skill to have.
Yeah.
That most people in, let's say, civilian life don't have, because you don't think about what happens after.
And you've got to, don't forget, a lot of that care is communicating and reassuring the patient.
Yeah.
And that can take its toll sometimes. If somebody's badly injured, or they're or their friends or family are walking down with you, they're your responsibility as well. It's not just a casualty.
Yeah.
So, we have a couple of members in the team that are excellent at, because I'm not a big talker, I will tend to push them over there because I can't make small talk. I do, and I will. If it's on my shoulders, I will do that. But there's some that it comes natural to, and thank goodness for that.
It's a skill in itself, really. Isn't it?
It is, but it comes more natural to some people. And then, of course, they come back to the base, and you've then got to look after them. If they're waiting for an ambulance, or if the walking party just if they've been lost and they need to warm up,
have a cup
got
of tea.
the cup of tea, the biscuits, the chocolate, whatever. So that in itself can take time, and that's why some may take 4 hours. Yesterday's rescue was relatively simple, but she came back here. I had to warm her up, give her another assessment, and then I drove her to her hotel. And that takes time, but I didn't include that taking the drive to the hotel as part of the how long it took. But in the case of fatality, that can take hours. Because you've got the protocols to follow on the fell. And down here, waiting for the police, waiting for the undertakers, dealing with any family that have come as well. You can't go until, I can't go until everything is sorted.
Everything's done, everything's signed.
The deceased has been taken away, and the family or friends that are left are calm, relaxed and satisfactorily reassured and taken care of. And that can take many hours.
There's a lot that goes into it, isn't there? So Mountain Rescue is a charity at the end of the day. How do you think the local community look after you? Do you think that they...
No, we look after the local community. You said that wrong.
As a local community, how do they support you in what you do? Do they do any fundraising events and things like that?
Not that I wouldn't say the local community does. What they do is a lot of places have our donation boxes, which is great. We do get discounts on the odd place. Sometimes they may just do a little event, and then they think, oh well, we'll give some of it or all of it to Mountain Rescue. But so they are good, but don't forget, we rarely rescue the community. It's usually tourists, but we do rescue sometimes. But what we do with the community is we do look after them in adverse weather. Storm Arwen, when all the trees were down, the electricity was off for 4 days. We spent the weekend going round in our vehicles to every house or whatever, every piece of habitation within a certain area. We got a list from the council to make sure that they were okay and did they need anything. Floods, we will help people. We'll help the carers if they have to get to people.
And the snow as well.
A couple of years ago, Snowmageddon, I was sort of in this base all day, all weekend, from sort of Saturday lunchtime. No, it was Saturday morning, mid-morning that Saturday till late Sunday night, and then again on Monday morning, dealing with abandoned vehicles, helping people get medication, taking people back to the vehicles, getting medical equipment. I can't remember the machine it was that we picked up from near Haverthwaite and brought it to Coniston. Somebody needed some machinery. I can't remember now. That we did. So we will help the community. And I know that they're supportive with us in that area. But they are good to us, they do give us discounts from time to time, and local shops do. So.
Yeah, that's nice. It's especially because you are part of the community, you live here as well. It's nice that they're aware of the work that you do. Definitely.
Yeah.
Would you say that you are dealing with more frequent calls and the boost of tourism? Do you think that's played a part in the work that you're doing?
Last year, yes. Last year we had a record number of call-outs. We had 69. Normally we have maybe one a week.
Okay.
But before then we averaged between 45, 50s, early 50s, and then it crept up a bit. Snowmageddon a couple of years ago boosted it by, I think, by 9.
Right.
So although we were in our 60s thinking, wow, 9 of those were because of the snow.
Yeah.
This year we're very quiet.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't know why. We're on to our 43rd. We've got 4 months to go. So we will reach the 50s, but we won't be reaching the 60s.
Okay.
I mean, I may be wrong, but we're very quiet this year.
That's good.
I mean, apart from yesterday's, the last 3 call-outs before then, although we may have come to the base, we never left it.
All right, okay.
So very quiet.
Real. What do you wish more people knew about mountain rescue and the volunteers itself?
That we're a charity.
Yeah.
And we don't get paid.
Yeah.
So it costs nearly 60,000 a year per vehicle with the maintenance and the petrol. That they're hardy vehicles, but they do take some stick.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. We are purely volunteers, giving our time, and we're on call 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Yeah. Even on Christmas Day a few years ago, I was counselling 2 people who'd seen quite a traumatic accident on Christmas Eve, where somebody was seriously injured. And the lady was so traumatised. I'd given them my number, and her partner rang me on Christmas morning saying she's really not handling this. Can we have a chat? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, why don't you come round to my house? So Harley did her bit, and that was Christmas morning. Yeah. So we're on call at any time.
Yeah, and you really are at any time. You're getting up at all hours of the day and dropping what you're doing and
middle of a meal that you've, or just before a meal that you've been looking forward to having. You're hungry. It's 7 o'clock at night. You're hungry. You've just prepared it. You're ready to sit down, and you get that call out. Bugger.
The other day I had to leave my chocolate yogurt.
No way.
I was so sad.
No, I don't like yogurt.
No,
but if you
yogurt,
but if you just said chocolate, because that's another thing you need to know. Team leader is a chocoholic.
Yeah.
We go through so much chocolate as well. Not just me who steals it, obviously. But I'm a chocoholic. We go through lots of chocolate. So,
it's a tough decision, isn't it? Dinner or a call out. You have to pick which one you're going to do.
Chocolate or a call out. But you can understand people that have sat down at work and sat down with the family and the children.
Yeah.
And oh gosh, what do I do? Here are my kids. But most of them come.
Yeah. So they pick to help the people and go out in the rain.
Yeah, because they may have children.
Yeah.
They're certainly not going to get the meal.
Yeah.
So
and they're passionate about it. I think that's the main point, that you don't get anything for what you're doing. You don't get any monetary addition to your lives, but you're doing it because you actually care. And
the thing I'd also like to make a point of is that we're also not here to judge. There is but there is no need to say sorry, because we wouldn't do it if we didn't want to. And, we're not here to judge you. The majority of our call-outs are genuine. Anybody can turn their ankle. And if you've got lost, let's face it, we've all been a numpty in our life, haven't we?
Yeah.
At some point, and some of us have been a numpty more often than not. So we're not there to judge you.
Yeah.
If you need help, we are more than happy to come out.
Yeah.
Whatever the weather.
Better sooner rather than later, isn't it?
Sooner, yeah.
And before your dinner or chocolate.
Yeah, and make sure it's low down, not high up.
And you have got chocolate in your backpack.
Yes, and there's no wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that we've got that sorted, that's the message.
Yeah, that's the criteria now.
Yeah.
Cool. So just the last question, if anyone would be interested in joining Mountain Rescue, is there any advice that you've got for them? Don't.
Yes, do it.
Good.
If you're keen, then make that application. It's on our website. The application's there. Read our Facebook page, because that gives you details of all our call outs, so it'll give you an idea. Or write to the secretary, and if you want to speak to somebody first before your application in, write to her, she will contact me, and then I will contact you. But if you're thinking about it, you won't know whether it's worth it or not until you join. And I think it's worth it.
Good.
I do.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That's it for today's episode of The Crew Room. A huge thank you to Janice for sharing not just the realities of mountain rescue, but also the heart, dedication and humanity that keep teams like CONISTON going. Conversations like this remind us that behind every call out are people giving up their time, their skills, and often their safety to help others. If you enjoyed this chat, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And most importantly, take a moment to appreciate the incredible work and commitment of these volunteers. If you'd like to support CONISTON Mountain Rescue, you can donate directly through their website or through the bio. Every bit does make a difference. Thank you for joining us at The Crew Room.